Happy Sunday. This is your style appetizer for the week. So I've been thinking um, in many different domains about this very same subject that I'm going to present to you. And the subject is um, hard subject, hard subject for most of humanity to talk about because, anyway, you decide. So the subject is disappointment. Where does disappointment live? Where does it come from? How does it happen? Um, where does it get alchemized? Like, how do we have it? You know, where, what is it? Is it something that happens out there and we have a reaction to it? Meaning, I had an expectation. You had an expectation. We have expectations, which my conversation about expectations. Expectations are premeditated resentments. So, expectation, something happens or doesn't happen, and then the outcome is heartache, disappointment, sadness, mm, all these emotions, energy and motion that we have that are most probably valid. But the question is not if they're valid. The question is, does that emotion, does that state of mind, does that outcome, that the way that I'm being, meaning disappointed, or um, lack of trust, or all these different things that come out of that, is that serving me? Is is it serving me in the moment while I'm in that turmoil, in that cauldron of emotions? Is that serving me? Is it serving you? When you had a certain standard for something, whether it's in your kitchen or in your emotional kitchen or in your expectation kitchen, and someone's not showing up the way you thought they were going to show up, or something didn't happen the way you thought it was going to happen. Again, we go back to the basis of image therapy. Can you live your life exactly the way it's showing up and exactly the way it's not showing up? So this is a really long conversation, but for the sake of the style appetizer, let's just go to boil it down to what's actually here. Let's say you had an appointment. I had an appointment to um, show up in a conversation with 50 people, and the person who organized the conversation, let's just say it that way, the person who organized the conversation did whatever they did. I show up, I take time out of my day, they take time out of their day, and for whatever reason there's no one there. It's kind of like throwing a party and no one comes. So my thing is, how am I being with that? I threw a party, or someone threw a party, invited me as the clown or the fun part or the guest speaker or the grandmother who's going to be doing crocheting with all the grandchildren of other people's grandchildren, and no one shows up. You can take that blueprint and you can attach it to anything, to a sales event, to a party, to a birthday party, to a conversation about historical events, to um, one of my events, permission to pursue your pleasure, and no one shows up, or it doesn't matter. Dinner can be very simple. It can be a date. It could be anything. Now, that disappointment that I experience or allow myself to swim into that mediocre ocean, that's not going to hurt anybody else who didn't show up. Just like anger, just like resentment, just like hatred, it doesn't even impact the other people. It doesn't impact the people that didn't show up. The only person that is impacted by disappointment is me, is you, if that's yours. So, for the sake of today's style appetizer, all I would love for us to experience is when I let that go and come back to the moment. I have a roof over my head, my body's healthy, my grandchildren are healthy, my man is well. You know, if you just come to the moment, recognizing the blessings. And the other piece of all of this is it's a lesson. The other side of that coin is a blessing. So, which one am I going to seek? The blessing in the moment. The blessing is not going to have anything to do with the disappointment, or maybe it does. Rejection is God's protection. There's so many ways to look at this. However, what I really want to point out is that the sadness and the disappointment and the despair and the you mulling it over and going into your head, which is bad neighborhood to go into by yourself, all of that is not serving your joy, is not serving your creativity. It is just pulling energy from you and putting it into a space of mediocrity and the dungeon of despair. And that's not going to happen, at least not to my people. So choose wisely. Which road are you going to go down on? Because the way that you're being with it is your choice. And that's where we all have agency. You have agency when you choose wisely. So I showed up. I was all made up and looked good and had a great smile, have a great smile on my face. And no one showed up to the party. And my choice is to let it go and to continue to bring my smile into the world the way I invite you to bring your smile to the world and ask you, which corner of the universe are you lighting up today? And, you know, if people wanted to, they would. So when they don't, go find the people that do. And stop letting your resentment taint your world, taint your heart, taint your desire for more goodness in the world, because you are a masterpiece who masters peace. So go out into the world, shine your light, and tell me which corner of the universe you're lighting up today. Go play in your closet and let me know how you have done your path, how you're letting go of all of those things that are unkind ingredients as to your joy. Mwah. And I can't wait to see you and wrestle you to the ground and see you in person. I love you. Have a wonderful Sunday, and I'll talk to you soon. See you next week.